our whole aim here is to reduce your anxiety over SMSFs and lending because it is a really complex area. I was delighted because Jason and I go back quite a while now. We're always chatting about something. So why don't we do a chat with everyone and tell them what we know about SMSF? So this is what started, and then we've had several hours more chats about it, and here we are. So we're delighted. Jason, the wonderful Jason Bibby, has founded SMSF Financial. He is also a qualified accountant, and Jason originally lived in Melbourne and then escaped. So he's got an office down here, but he also escaped to Queensland now, and he lives on the Gold Coast and runs an office up there as well. So I run the property education company. We have been around since 2015, and I have been mortgage broking actually a lot longer, nearly 20 years from that, but it's been my company since then. And we have quite a big team who are keen to help everyone get their lending right. Just on the disclaimer, this is general advice. Obviously, if you want your own situation assessed, please make a time and call us. We would love that. And that's what we're here to help you with. So our whole aim here is to reduce your anxiety over SMSFs and lending because it is a really complex area. And when you get into, you'll be hearing all these terms and words that you're thinking, well, goodness, they're all talking in tongues to me, and I keep getting asked for more documents and I don't know what the hell I'm being asked about. So it's really important to have the right people on your team. We want you to avoid having a non-complying fund because that can be quite easy if you're doing the wrong thing, and prevent you from making mistakes. A major stumbling block for us sometimes has been not having a financial advice certificate before settlement from your accountant or financial advisor. And that's why we like working with people like Jason, who sorts all that stuff for us up front. So it's just worth noting, you'll be asked for these things as you go along. So acceptable security types. So what can you buy in an SMSF? So for residential lending, usually the loan to value ratio is up to 80% of the value of the property. But sometimes they'll even go up as high as 90, which they never used to do. It was like 60 and 70, but it's increased because banks are like, hey, we're not getting as many loans at the moment. So the lenders are saying, yeah, we'll make it a little more flexible for you. So how interesting. Yay, happy days. So properties, we love a little suburban residential home on its standalone. Newer, it looks great, it's established, it's ready to go. That's a great security for this type of lending. We can buy for a unit, depending on how many in the block that you're buying or how many the lender has. But generally, these second tier lenders that we only available, they're only ones who can do these loans. That should be no problem, depending on the size. So it can't be less than 50 square metres. Townhouses, great, no problem. Villa units, easy. Even some high-rise securities, although, and can you believe this photo is actually in Sydney? I looked at it and I'm like, what the heck? How appalling.
Oh, that was Shanghai, I'd believe you.
Yeah, I know, or Hong Kong or somewhere, but yeah, supposedly it's in Sydney. Anyway, the lenders are much less keen on high-density securities, will at a whim reduce your loan to value ratio. So they might even say, oh, usually we'll do 75, but they might look at the block and then go, no, we're doing less. So you need to be really careful. Don't sign an unconditional contract on anything like this. Next, this is what people always ask us. Can we buy that nice beach house down at Bateman's Bay or wherever and use that in our super fund? Yes, Jason, what's the answer?
Okay, so the answer is no, no deal.
No deal. So the problem is, and the lenders, you say, oh no, I'm just buying it because it's a great investment. It'll give me a super return. And if it's in the right area, it might be possible, but they will be very dubious. So a lot of lenders will say, no, that's probably not what we want to lend against. So be very careful about that. So when you're trying to buy something, you need to buy something that's going to be acceptable for us. Now, the next thing is I get these sort of emails all the time. Oh, Louise, it doesn't get any better than this. You will receive $47,500 commission as soon as I sell one of these shitty properties to any of you. And I'll just warn you, people who are often helping with SMSF lending and accountants all the time will be taking kickbacks from people offering this sort of money. Can you imagine if I took, I mean, it'd be great. I'd be off in the Bahamas in no time. However, I do not take kickbacks and I don't give them. And I don't recommend anyone purchasing this type of property. But if you have been offered a new off-the-plan property for an amount, make sure you read the contract very carefully to check who is in the equation getting a kickback commission at some point. Some, they're well in there and it should be disclosed, not necessarily always, but make sure, ask the questions of your accountant, or if they've recommended certain particular property, is there a reason why? So I just want to alert you to the fact. So pre-approvals. So here's a really interesting thing. Before you get too excited, it is a good idea to seek advice, but you can actually get a pre-approval before you even have an SMSF. We can actually go to a lender. Not many lenders do this, only a couple, but some will actually review your current contributions to super and what's in your funds and say whether they will lend on that in the future if you create an SMSF from that, from those contributions and assets. So it is possible to get a pre-approval first, but then you need to go away, set up your super fund, and most of them require your super fund trustee to review before they will give you a pre-approval. So I'm hoping that's clear. If you want to ask...
I'm going to jump in, Louise, because nobody else is doing this, right? In 17 years of me doing this, no other lender or mortgage broker has been able to get a pre-approval before we've even set it up. So I just want to jump in and say that is unique and that is a service that is not readily available. So well done.
Thank you. Well, I think the problem for a lot of people is the lenders who will do that, you will pay for. And that's the service. If you're prepared to pay, they'll do the work for you. And then you might pay higher for your lending, but that's a decision to make. And at least we always have a good range of lenders who you can get assessment from. And it's worth having the conversation with us first anyway. And just to know, our value props is that we hold your hand throughout the entire process. You get lifetime support with us because we review every loan every 6 months to make sure you are getting the most competitive offer for you. And we're always negotiating on your behalf with lenders to make sure that you're getting the most cost-effective rate you can. We're often saying to clients, can you please ring and accept the deal we've got for you, because we've negotiated it and then we just need you to confirm it with them. So make sure if you get those conversations happening, it's good for you. We always try to make sure you're getting that lifetime support, and we do aim to make it as clear as possible.
Look, I will just say one thing. With Louise doing a 6-month review, that's not common. And I've spoken to Louise and what she does. Part of her process, part of the team, she's got quite a big back-end team behind her. Part of their process is every month they are going through and doing the 6-month check for every single client every 6 months. And if they're able to negotiate a better deal, then it's sort of done and dusted for you in the background. They just flick through the documents for you to sign and for you to get a better rate deal. That is huge. Like, that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 30-year period by constantly just shaving off 10, 15, 20 basis points along the way. So I think congrats to you, Louise. I know it's something that you've put a lot of time and effort into building the systems to be able to do this effectively. And I think it's a massive value that not every mortgage broker is able to provide. So I think it's awesome.
Hey, sure, a great salesman. I love working with you. But I'll tell you what I love is having documents that don't get asked about, and I produce them to a lender. So power to you, mate, because I love working with you for the same reason. It's like having an expert on your team is such a relief. If you're going to do it, please do it properly. Thank you all for coming. We've loved having you. And if you've got any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I will be sending around our contact details for you. Thank you all for coming.
See you guys.